copy of the agenda. Is that, did you get a copy of the budget? Thank you.
Yep. No, we have no copies of anything.
Budget. Budget. And they have copies, right? The budget?
I don't know if they both got them. We get a copy of the budget.
Are you ready to turn that in?
As soon as I grab. Of course, I don't have an agenda, but that's okay. Can I share?
Just not your germs.
Come on, I am on antibiotics. Trust me. Okay, go ahead.
All right. With that, I'd like to start the public hearing with the Pledge of Allegiance, if we could. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Can we have a roll call, please?
Supervisor Alberico?
Here.
Trustee Lewandowski?
Here.
Trustee Boyce? Here. Trustee Badisich?
Here.
Trustee Morelli?
Here.
All right. We have this public hearing tonight for the discussion of the amended town fund budget to be approved at the workshop, which will be immediately following after the public hearing tonight. Changes on the amended budget. We added a line item under capital layout on page 3. The last line, building purchase and or renovation, $900,000. I will open it to the public.
Could the board or the supervisor elaborate on what the 900,000 is for?
State the name.
Yeah, for the record.
Carl Beveridge. I live at 17551 West Oak Avenue, Lockport. That's the southeast corner of Oak and Briggs. It is Lockport Township.
The $900,000 basically for the renovation or the purchase of a building, obviously, what it says. The township has been looking at the possibility of moving out of this building or renovating this building or doing something where we're out of space, basically. Our records, our clerk's office has no place to keep the vital records. Our assessor's office is very crowded. And
I think everybody accepts that the township's got to do something with office space and so on.
Right.
Okay.
so we've been looking for the last 5 or 6 years, and we have come across a building that we want to purchase. We put money aside through the years. We, by ordinance and by resolution, we put $1 million aside in our town fund and $1 million aside in our senior fund for the possibility of buying or purchasing land or renovating a building. Now that we've found a place that we're very interested in, we're taking that money and putting it in. Before we can spend it, it has to be in a line item on our budget before we can spend the money. So we're taking it out of the bank and putting it in our line items so we can spend the money now.
Okay, maybe I should have been a little more trying to get a concept for
Right, no.
that whole
And that's
setup.
exactly what this public hearing is for, so your questions.
I mean, I was active, you know, in last April and in the discussions concerning
Buying or building.
building, buying, that sort of thing. And one of the questions that did come up at that time, are there other alternative facilities already available that could be used to satisfy township needs? So,
I think this answers all the questions that we had, that we need. The only, like I said, and I'll be the first to admit, that there are some downsides to, there's downsides to everything. I wish it was more directly in the center of the township. It's not, but we can't find a building in the center for that kind of price and that.
It puts together all the different specific. At the December 14th board meeting, a resolution was passed to purchase the church over on Farrell. And as I understand it, the cost for that is approximately 1.1 million.
That's correct.
Is that correct? Okay. And so here you're looking for an additional 900,000 to renovate those facilities?
No, right now, we put $900,000 in our town budget, and we put, I believe, $500,000, if I'm not mistaken, in our senior budget, which would be $1.4 million. That's the purchase of the building, and we'll have $400,000 for whatever we might need at this point until we do our budgets next year. Should we do some of the renovation, I know there's a few issues. We have an elevator that we're going to have to update
In that building?
in that building. So that's what that extra $400,000 is for, any unforeseen things that we have to do before we do our budgets next year.
Well, I'm just trying to get a total picture for what the outlay for that facility is going to be, purchase-wise and then renovation-wise, to bring it to where it's needed. Is the 900 being set aside for just that facility, or is it for other township buildings as well?
It's my opinion that right now that $900,000 is being put aside, being put in the line item to purchase the building.
That's to purchase the building?
Purchase the building.
Okay, so the resolution was just to authorize the purchase of the building. Now
Yeah.
you're putting money, okay, so 900,000 is to purchase it, and you're anticipating how much are the renovations going to run?
Anticipating, and you know,
Ballpark on that.
We don't have to figure it out because architect.
until the architect
Okay.
goes in, I'm just taking a wild guess. But I'm not expecting it to be very, very, I don't expect it to be real bad. I think that building is very in good shape. There's a lot of office space. We may move some doors and walls, things like that, but I don't see a lot of renovation other than the elevator and the, small things.
But when we were looking around, if I can step in, we had this building looked at to renovate this third floor,
Yeah.
just to try to figure out if there was any way to make,
More out of this.
and that came in as a price of 1.1 million, almost like 1.5 million to renovate it is what they would want
Here.
to make here. So obviously we didn't go that route, and then when this came available, for the price, even if we do have to spend X amount, it just seemed like that would be the better idea,
And we don't have to do it all at once.
Right.
We can make work with what's available there at this point and then move forward as we see our needs.
How much office space is currently in that building, roughly square footage-wise?
Office space, but you know what, to be quite honest with you, I don't know, but we have probably be about 8,000 square feet on this floor here in office space. It's got to be at least double that over there.
So you have enough space to do the
Very,
things
we
that
have more
you're
space than we'll
gonna,
ever
plus
need.
meeting space, that sort of thing.
Right. I'm anticipating having room to put the food pantries in there. I'm anticipating having room to put the Meals on Wheels program out of that building.
Bus
And still
service.
have plenty of space.
The buses
The
also.
buses will be run out of
whole
that.
barn, the whole barn out there that where we would store our buses now and
Yeah,
stuff like
it's,
that.
7¼ acres or something go with it?
Seven,
Go with
yes,
that.
good point, yeah.
There's a pole building that sits off to the side, a small one where those buses can
Smallest,
Parking.
30 by 40.
Oh, it's 30 by 40?
30 by 40.
Well, it's
Really
small
nice
compared to that
barn.
building.
Both our senior buses will fit in there. There will be a little renovation. There's one big door to get one bus in. The other door is a smaller door. I want to make that big so we get both buses in there.
I'm just trying to get a concept
Yeah.
for
Right, no.
that whole
And that's
setup.
exactly what this public hearing is for, so your questions.
I mean, I was active, in last April in the discussions concerning
A new building, buying, or building.
building, buying, that sort of thing. And one of the questions that did come up at that time, are there other alternative facilities already available that could be used to satisfy township needs? So,
I think this answers all the questions that we had, that we need. The only, like I said, and I'll be the first to admit, that there are some downsides to, there's downsides to everything. I wish it was more directly in the center of the township. It's not, we can't find a building in the center for that kind of price and that,
it puts together all the different things that you want to try to satisfy.
Yes, right.
I mean, there are some positives. There's a police department that's less than a mile away, a fire department that's less than a mile away, so, you know.
Okay, my name is Mavis Ilka. I live at 21024 Alicia Court in unincorporated Lockport. I have a little bit of concern because when we had our town meeting, we asked you to bring us options. And it doesn't look like that you're looking at the citizens and what they want. You didn't give us any say in it, and township government is supposed to be about having say in how
You say and you turn it down.
But you didn't bring us the options of this building or anything. Is it true that this closing is happening tomorrow, or is that just hearsay?
Well, it's gonna happen this week, hopefully, maybe not tomorrow.
Because I feel if you can call public hearings, and you can also have, you have called township town meetings before. So you have a list of everybody that was at this meeting.
Eva, if I can interrupt for a minute, if you
Yes.
don't mind. I can recall very, very vividly hearing many residents get up and speak at that meeting about understanding the need for township growth and the need for us to move on to a different place. And we had told them other options that we had looked at. They had given us other options. One of the options was, I think, a strip mall out in Crest Hill, which we looked at. Corwin's Pharmacy, which we looked at.
Crest Hill Library.
Crest Hill Library. So, and I think I can speak for this
Did you
board.
look at anything about renting someplace?
We did. We looked at Kinetic Systems to rent that place. So I think I can speak for the board that everybody did their due diligence to satisfy the residents of Lockport Township. So, you know, we listened, they listened, the board listened, and this, without a doubt, is the best option for our township to move on right now.
And I remember the first annual town meeting, we didn't have a location, we didn't have a design of a building, and I believe that night, nothing was voted on. We listened to the people where they said, we need more information. And that's when we went out and hired an architect, and I think it was $30,000 that we spent to hire the architect. He drew up the building. We basically had the area behind, along the golf course behind the fire station, 90% that if we got approved, we were gonna build it right there. And that project came in at $4.5 million,
No, it was about
something
6
like
million.
that.
It was about 6.
6 million,
as I
okay.
recall.
Yeah.
You know, and that got turned down. And someone said, what about redoing this building, this third floor here? Now, everybody knew that the first floor, the second floor, they need more space also, along with our third floor. And when we looked into that, and I thought it was like $900,000, $1 million just to redo this building. And that doesn't count of what it would cost to get everybody, just this floor, what it would take to get the offices out of here, relocate them for, who knows, 7, 8 months, have that cost on our hands. So when this building came up for $1.1 million, the size of it, all the stuff that we can do with it, granted, I'm all for having it in the center of our district. you know? And that is the only downfall that, you know, I really see right now with it.
Well, that doesn't answer.
And the
what-
question,
what
why
I-
didn't it go to a town meeting,
Why didn't
is
you?
basically because we were advised by basically our lawyers,
Our attorneys.
our
and,
attorneys, state attorneys, because we had saved this money and had this money where we could pay cash for it, that's the reason it didn't have to go to a town
They
meeting.
didn't have to, but you could have looked at it and had there. More than likely, you would have gotten enough people to do that. It just seems like that you don't, if you can call them sometimes, why would you do this right at Christmas time, do your 2 hearings? If you knew you wanted to do these, I've heard quite a bit about this being out here, so you kind of knew where it was going to be. To hold these public hearings right at Christmas time again, it looks like you're not being on the level.
Well, we've
I mean,
actually,
I shouldn't say it's
since
not on our level.
December, since a year ago, actually, it's been a year since we've held our annual, that town meeting, it wasn't the town meeting, it's been a year. So since that year, we have had meetings and workshops and have talked about.
But you've not invited the public to them.
Their
You're
public's
always
always
welcome.
invited.
You're always welcome.
Yeah, we post them online. Our meetings are always online. We have talked about it in an open meeting.
Well, I think that the way communications is more, you could reach out a little more to you. A lot of people are doing away with townships.
I don't know.
If you want to
do
keep
have-
this
do you have the
township up,
newsletter? I think you've talked about it in the newsletter also.
but I think,
Let me ask you, do you think, and I don't know if you represent other people or this is your
I
opinion.
got calls 2 weeks ago.
No, I understand that, but
Of people
obviously.
that were talking to me.
Right, but what
That
I'm
were
asking
talking
you
to me.
is there
And I
something
said,
wrong with this
I am
building?
sick, I can't come to this meeting. I got calls today, and I got calls there.
Right.
that This meeting was going on, I happened to come in.
And we're not hiding these public
No,
meetings.
you're not.
I mean, obviously,
But
you know, they're
the
taped
The
and
new
they're.
things, the new climate is to be more open.
I think we're being very open as we can possibly be.
Well, I would think that you should probably table your
I have a
vote.
copy of every meeting for next year. If you can make her a copy, and then she has it.
And that's online
That
too,
is
isn't it?
very
It's online.
arrogant.
And in our newsletter.
And in our newsletter.
You know, we try to reach out to you in our newsletter, and I believe
To
that.
tell me, can you make a copy of this here? I could go, as long as all of these meetings are online.
They are.
They are online.
I'm not sure that's quite true, okay? Because I looked for this meeting tonight on the calendar. And it's
The
not-
workshops aren't online. I don't know if you post them
Well, okay.
online.
And I don't want to be
By law,
argumentative
what do we
about
have
that.
to do?
I would
30
like to make a
days.
suggestion
What do you-
to the board, all right, that all meetings be posted online. It isn't always easy to get that information either by coming here or looking to a newspaper or something like that to find it. We're a internet-based society, it seems, today, and that calendar is a very useful tool. And I would encourage the board to post the workshops, everything.
The
that-
workshops, we call workshops kind of sometimes.
As needed.
As needed, when we need a workshop, like this one.
And I
is.
believe-
And that, understood that can happen.
And we do it within the guidelines, say we have to post it,
48 hours.
48 hours ahead of time. We put it online, we send it, if something comes up like this did, we put it on as soon as we can. We post it, let people know as soon as we can.
What was the urgency for this particular?
Tonight, because of the closing tomorrow, the closing was set for tomorrow, it got moved off to Wednesday, I think.
The
now.
church was, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
The
The
church
church was
closed.
pushing this
Quick.
to have it done
They
by
couldn't
January
wait off
1st.
until,
They-
early next year or
They
something.
gave me a price that we would close by the end of the year.
Yeah, that price was based,
They were
Oh.
really a lot of the pressure.
yeah.
So,
Or
the
they're gonna
meeting, the
post it,
workshop
put it
tonight
up
was
on,
called
and
before,
we could have a
because
chance to lose it.
before we can close tomorrow, we have to have this line item in the budget. I can't spend the money tomorrow if this isn't passed tonight.
I would make a suggestion that you table that tonight,
Table what?
this changing of
Okay,
these.
so the
My
approval,
suggestion is to table the approval and take and up your, move your closing date.
And then it might cost us $3 million for the building?
Oh, you
Price
think
is-
they're gonna up
I
that
don't know,
price
price is only
in
good.
1 month?
so,
I can't tell you what they can do.
so
They're gonna price that up in 1 month.
There was-
There has been a contract signed, and we have a closing date.
So I want you to understand about the budget. This money has to be appropriated. It has to be in the budget. It's in the bank already. All we're doing is moving it from the bank into the budget. This budget was on display for 30 days by law, okay? And this budget needs to be filed at the county clerk's office, both budgets. So, you know, we're doing everything by law, and
But
to
you could
uproot
have been doing
everything.
that 2 months ago for us, so we knew more about it, if you wanted to move it.
We
Well,
didn't know the
maybe-
building
Yeah,
was
this
available.
process just started all in the last 2 months.
2 months ago, you could have changed the money around, instead of the
Oh, no, the
midnight time.
negotiations were going on.
We didn't even know the building was
Yeah.
available
Yeah.
2 months ago.
Yeah.
I think that was a little bit of the background. I was just trying to understand how this,
This building
Came to
became
pass.
available to us, it was brought to my attention
It's in there.
in November.
Obviously,
Oh.
knows that
That's been out there a whole lot longer than that.
No, it hasn't.
Of
No, it
people.
the church, he brought
We
it
got-
out.
When
I
did you
heard
know
about
about
it.
it?
What'd you know about it? You should have told us
When
at
did
the
you
last
know
meeting.
about it?
Oh, you should have
Or
told
you
us.
knew.
Meva, when did you know?
A lot to do with the church.
I'm sorry, it wasn't
They've
November,
already had, they've got a
October.
new
It'll be
church.
somewhere in October.
It was about the middle of October it came
They
in.
wanted
It was
out.
Columbus Day, I'll
they
tell you
wanted
the
to
exact date I
negotiate a
found
deal at a
out
certain
about
price,
it.
and
Columbus
we
Day.
do it by a certain time.
Right,
Basically.
right. I mean, if they would've put it up, you know, the thing was,
Okay.
That's,
estimated
It was horse
value
trading.
was over $2 million.
I just
you know what
wanted
I'm
to
saying? So,
come
I mean,
and
as
tell
far
you
as a
what
good
I
deal,
was thinking
think
and what
It was tough, and we
I-
gotta move quick.
I don't believe you're reaching out enough to your citizens.
I'll make you a copy of this.
Maybe
I think, and really,
Look at our website
I mean,
more
I
often.
think we've been, and, okay, the website, the meetings, I understand
I
that.
do have, I agree with you, Carl, with the, with the
Just as a
calendar.
general principle, I
The
understand
calendar,
that
so
things can
we
come
had,
up that
we had an employee change, and she always did the calendar. She just left us 2 weeks ago, okay? So we haven't had anybody trained to do that, and so that, you're correct, it was not on the calendar, but it was posted in the agendas.
I didn't mean that in an argumentative
No,
sense.
no,
I
no,
really
I-
mean it in a constructive way, just
And I have
looking
no problem down
down the
with you.
road, you know, in general.
And we usually do
Reaching
have
out,
them on our.
the web is a great place to do that, because people can do that from mobile devices, from their home, from wherever
Like
they
I
are.
said, I'm not a web person myself, so I have a hard time dealing and keeping up with the website and that, but I have a couple of employees and
Yeah,
I keep
we-
on telling
we will-
them, make sure we put things on the web. Keep the
Your
web
manager
updated.
delegating.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do have delegated.
We will
Person I
make sure that
delegated
the
to
calendar
quit.
gets updated.
Okay, I mean, it
But
was just a
anyway, yeah.
suggestion.
Yeah, no, you're correct. It should be in the calendar, and usually it would be. So we apologize for that.
All right, anything else? I will close this public hearing. I need a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
I got a motion by John Badisich,
I'll second it.
second by Barbara Boyce. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Thank you very much. At this point, can we go right into our meeting, or do you want to take a second?
Since this meeting's closed, can I still ask you something? Anyway,
Off the record? We're on the record.
it'll be on the record, because I think you still got this moving. What I want to
You might
ask,
not answer then.
well, you may not have to. What is that I'm hearing about a clinic that we're going to be running out of there, or doing something with a clinic? Is there something going on with some kind of healthcare thing?
I don't want to really discuss anything with all the trustees here in an non-meeting atmosphere. That's a Open Meetings Act
Oh, I can ask that
violation.
question.
You can ask,
when-
you can ask the
when they
question when we open the meeting.
Open the meeting.
How about putting it
It's a
on the
workshop
January
meeting,
agenda?
right?
What's
It's a
that?
workshop meeting?
It's a workshop meeting, yes.
We just closed our workshop.
No, that was the public hearing.
Okay.
We're gonna open up,
Okay.
can we open it? No?
Yes, and what I would,
Ron, just a
You're on.
suggestion, that item could be discussed in January board meeting.
Okay, I'd like to open up this workshop tonight at
7:40?
7:40 with the Pledge of Allegiance, if we could.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. We start this meeting, this workshop, with a roll call.
Supervisor Alberico,
I'm here.
Trustee Lewandowski.
Here.
Trustee Boyce. Here. Trustee Badisich.
Present.
Trustee Morelli.
Here.
All right. You want to indicate who else is here for the record, or?
Meva Zoka and Carl
Beverage.
Beveridge.
And we have
I'll be happy to spell it for you.
Oh, Grant Spooner,
Mr.
yes.
Spooner
Grant
here.
Spooner.
And Denise here.
Yes.
Taking the minutes.
Yes.
All right. All right, first on the agenda is the approval of the amended town fund budget, ordinance number 2015-1. I need a motion to approve that.
I'll make that motion.
A motion by Michael Lewandowski. Can I have a second?
second.
A second by John Badisich. Do we have any questions?
I would just like to add, Supervisor Alberico, that this copy of this budget has been on display in the clerk's office for 30 days. It was posted and published according to law, and it is an amended budget for...
And I will, just for the record, tell you what the amended issue was. We added a line item under capital layout, building purchase and/or renovation of $900,000. All right, hearing no other questions, can I have a roll call, please?
Alberico,
Yes.
Boyce,
Yes.
Lewandowski.
Yes.
Badisich.
Yes.
Morelli.
Yes.
All right. Next issue on the agenda, approval of zoning for buildings. What this is about, I wanted to have a discussion. I want your opinions on this and which direction we feel we need to go. I've talked to the county about the building that we're purchasing. They indicated to me that if, the zoning at that building is zoned single family. The church, as it is, fits the zoning because they want churches in single-family residence areas. I told them that we're going to have a community center and our offices in that area, in that building. They indicated to me that the community center fits the zoning because they want community centers in residential areas. Our offices don't fit. So we'd have to have a zoning variance or a change of the zoning in the county, which is going to take us about 60 to 90 days because they got to publish it, they got to send letters out to the people, we have to have a public hearing, and the full county board has to vote on it, has to go through their meetings and have the zoning changed. They've indicated to me that it would probably go through. I can't see why they wouldn't. You know, it's a good thing for the area. They feel it's a good thing for the area. So we can go that way. The other possibility, I've talked to the city of Lockport. We're right across the street from the city line. We could annex into the city. That also is going to take 60 to 90 days because they've got to go through their public hearing, through their due diligence, and inform the people. All right, the positives and negatives that I've found, I just want to bring to your attention, is if we go with the city, we would be able to hook into the city sewer and water. Right now it's on well and septic. I talked to the gentleman, the company that put the well in. He said it's a good well. It's about 200 feet deep, 6-inch pipe going all the way down. He said he's aware of the police department across the street and up the road has a well. They've had, what do you call it, issues with their well with contamination. They had to cap the well at the firehouse, or the police department, and went with city and sewer and water. They hooked up the city and sewer and water there. Being a septic field that it's on now, well and septic, you know, it's probably good, but, you know, we're gonna be doing banquets, not banquets, but be having our breakfasts there. We'll have things going on in our community center. I believe the septic field would be fine with it, but, you know, if something goes wrong, it's an issue. If we hook up to the city sewer and water, all that goes away. There's a fire suppression system that's been put in that building because it's on well and septic. There's tanks that are underground there for the fighting of the fires. All that, they have to be certified every year. It's kind of an expensive issue. That all goes away if we go with the city sewer and water. The city indicated that they would waive any tap-on fees for us if we go with the city. Those are things that.
What would be the monthly cost
Of what?
of tapping onto the city?
It's our water bill. I don't know how much water we use.
Well, you'd be looking at all services, right?
Yeah.
Fire, water, septic, sewer.
I think what it's gonna come down to, originally, the initial cost to move in with the city is gonna be a little higher than staying with the county, but in the long run, I think it's gonna be a better bang for our dollar.
Because of the maintenance fees associated with the septic field
And
and
we don't have to worry
the
about,
fire suppression
yeah,
system.
I think it's gonna be better. Everybody, I've talked to the well people, I've talked to the city, I've talked to the county, even the county indicated to me, you'd probably be better off going with the city. But I want that to be our decision. I can't make that decision.
They're gonna waive our tap-on fee, but we have to tap into the system.
Right, it's gonna cost us, the
Which
piping,
is gonna
getting it
cost.
there. It'll be expensive to get in.
You know what that
Can
cost
we-
is?
can
Let's
we-
not rush into it.
Can we just,
Not what
Well,
should,
can we go with the county and then we determine the cost of, you know, get an estimate what it's gonna do to tap in, and then it could be a year from now when we decide to go into the city.
Yeah, are you
Like
including
John-
going to the city if
This-
you
this-
do the county first?
Well,
This is a public meeting, not a meeting in public. Or a meeting in public, not a public meeting. So,
Have to wait for a citizen to address public
Yeah.
board.
Correct.
Okay.
yes.
I guess my question is, can we, all right, because the process is moving fast here, if both of them take 60 and 90 days, if we go into the county, they rezone it, and next year we find out that, then we'd be able to determine how much of the cost it is to go into the city versus staying with the well and the septic.
That's true, we could do it that way.
yeah.
And I just wonder, and here's speaking out loud, brainstorming, is, are we better off working with the county now? Because there is, you know, the city wants this up here, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, to be,
I
so
agree
that
with
doesn't influence anything either.
I
You know
agree
what
with
I mean?
you. Yeah, I like his idea, rather than
So I'm thinking-
jumping into the cities.
My opinion is we move forward into the city right away, because
City.
I don't,
I
but here's the deal. I don't believe we can get any building permits to even start any kind of construction until 60 to 90 days.
Well, that's understood.
Yeah.
We're not expecting any changes that quick.
Well, I would like to get that garage door put in so we can get those buses over there now, so we can take them out of the backyard here and get them in a building.
But either way,
It's
we're
gonna be
waiting,
60
right?
to 90 with the city though, too, right?
Yeah, but I think the city may permit us to get those building permits while the issue's being, I don't know, you know, I don't
And
know.
I
I guess.
understand the fire pumps in there, I mean, there's some equipment in there, but still, when you go with the city, there's still gonna be, I don't know exactly how that setup is, there's there's always an annual inspection of a fire suppression system. You know, so I don't know what the cost is now versus what it'll be when it's city water.
The city, I don't know. I was just
Obviously, those
told.
tanks would be, those tanks it could be used as a secondary water source, you know, along with the city water source. So I'm not sure how that system's set up, but.
Yeah, I don't know. Now you know more about
Yeah.
fire suppression.
I think
Wow.
I like his idea that we just hang loose for a little while.
Well, either
Not
way, we
rush
gotta
into
make
it.
the decision.
What did the county wanna,
Isn't it already
said
done?
we had to rezone or, right? I mean, they were fine with the community center, but because of the
Yeah.
offices, we would need to
Our
rezone.
offices.
So we would rezone to what? I mean. what-
I don't know, he was looking into the zoning possibilities of what they'd have to call it or do, but there'd have to be a
Just for
variance.
the office buildings, it's gotta be rezoned.
Because it's not, yeah, and we're putting government offices in there, not dentist's office or doctor's offices. So they're looking, he was looking at the point now to see what they could do to make it fit, is what I was told. And I told them
And
that
that's gotta be
there's a
approved by
possibility.
them.
What's that?
I know you said the rezoning didn't look like there was gonna be much of an issue.
Well, you know, you never know.
Well, right,
With the
well, that's what I'm
county, because they
saying, so we
are-
still don't know.
Yeah,
And I mean, is there a cost for the rezoning? Not that it would be,
yeah.
you know, estimate, I don't know, I've never been
Well,
involved with
once
like a
it's
rezoning.
rezoned, it's rezoned for the city too.
Mm-hmm.
The county
No,
does.
county doesn't, we take over if we're taken over by the city, they make the rules. We stay in the county makes the rules.
I say stay with the county.
Yeah, well, and septic scared me. In the long run.
We could always make decisions later on.
I don't know if.
How old is that
John said,
building,
I mean,
Rob?
if.
I believe it was built in
20 years?
about 20 years,
20 years.
95, I believe.
If there's a big
always
rush,
good.
you know, sounds like there's a big rush to it, like.
Well, either way, I think we gotta move in one direction or the other direction right after the closing, so we can get the process going, so in 60 days we can start the remodeling.
Right.
If, you know,
So-
Can we get a price, of tapping on prior to,
well, I would have to have, I guess it would be through Dewberry getting an engineering firm there, you have to do it, because I wouldn't know how to price it out. You have to have an
Wow.
engineer come
I
in.
mean,
the water's across the street?
I believe it's on Farrow Road across the street. Actually, the city, when I talked to the city, they said there's water behind us too in the Gale Gardens.
Yeah, right.
But they have to decide which is the easiest and best way to get to us.
Thing is, with the well, all I have to do is pay for electricity. If you pay for the city water, you're paying for it by the drop.
It's gotta be $20,000-$30,000,
Exactly.
I would think,
I don't know, because
for
to
the,
hook into the water.
the tap.
Oh, I think it's gonna be expensive to hook it in, yeah.
Oh, depending on how far.
Yeah,
let's
right.
which way
let's
they
keep
run
this
it.
system, let's keep it as simple as possible right now. We can make those decisions later on, I think. We already purchased the building. Let's take it one step at a time, rather than jumping into, you know, all kinds of changes right off the bat, I think.
So stay with the county, you're saying.
That's what I would,
Let's go that direction right now.
that would be the simplest thing, isn't that what you were
Yeah,
kind of thinking?
I think so. I mean, I think it's safer as far as having a sprinkler system hooked up to the city water, you know?
I
But the
understand,
system's been approved and working.
I understand,
for 20
it's,
years,
yeah,
you know,
I
so
understand
I'm
it's
mixed,
safer.
but, you know, I'm leaning more toward the county also. I mean, we knew it was in the county.
There's been an environmental study done already, right?
It's being done, I haven't
It's
heard the
being
result
done,
of it. yet.
And that is with the well and the septic.
Mhm.
That's what you're gonna close with,
Yeah.
right, that environmental
Right.
study?
Anybody in a motion or anything, or how do you want to proceed?
I mean, as far as, like you said, I mean, the city, you know, we could always approach them.
Later, yeah.
I just,
Fine, if-
No,
I know, you're.
The county's
wanna-
telling me to go that way too, that's what, it's kind of
Well,
pushing.
you might not want
you
to
know.
deal with it, it's awesome, you know, it's just extra work.
Yeah, I don't know why the county
Voters.
would think.
I'll go with whatever direction you guys direct.
That's
me.
what I would like to do. Let's stay with the county for now and see what,
You wanna go with the county?
spend money that we don't really
Somebody needs to
know
make a
what it
motion.
costs. I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
All right. Have a roll call.
It's gonna save us money right now.
Right, right.
It may cost us the same later, but right now it's saving us
Right.
money. Do you know what I mean? Even,
And hopefully we can get
In
the
the long run,
permits
it
to
might
get
cost
going.
us money.
We could start getting at least ideas, like
Yeah.
if we are gonna tap in down the line,
About how
which is gonna be the best way to go Farrell,
We don't
Gale
know what it
Gardens,
costs to move into that place.
how far we gotta go.
Well, we have a motion on seconded. Any other questions before we vote on this?
Where does public comment come into this process of?
it's not time
motion?
for public.
Next line.
Looks like, yeah,
But it's
let's,
after you vote on it and you've made a decision, right?
yeah.
Is that right?
That's the way it has to be.
That isn't the way it has to be, that's the way you run it.
Hey,
You
I
can-
have
Quite
no
frankly, I
problem.
think you're going in the right direction, okay? I just wanted to weigh in on that. You need to do a cost-benefit analysis before you can know what the best option is, county, city, and so on.
Sure.
You don't have enough data right now to make that decision. Okay, I'm
That's why-
sorry, that's all I really wanted to
All right.
say about it.
That's why we're not moving forward at this time with that.
Exactly.
All right.
John made the motion, I seconded it.
Alberico,
I'm gonna pass.
Lewandowski,
Yes.
Boyce,
Yes.
Bodisich,
Yes.
Morelli,
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. We'll, at this point in time, stay with the county. Next on the agenda, citizens wishing to address the board.
Okay, now's your time.
No, let me have your opinion, though. We're trying to do what's best here.
Understood. It just seems to me that if you're looking for public comment on the decision-making that's going on here, okay, it might be good to have that before the board votes, okay? I mean, it's okay to have a motion on the table, all right? But maybe the public might have equally good ideas, better ideas, whatever, okay?
I understand that.
It just seems odd, so that's my comment on process, okay, but I think you guys voted the right way.
I would just say that, basically, we go by
What's,
Robert's Rules of Order, which dictate that the only time a citizen can talk in a meeting is when citizen addressing the board. Otherwise, other than public hearings, And being Robert's Rules of Order have been accepted forever, that's the way we go. And I understand, and I appreciate your comments ahead of time.
Well, I do know that sometimes when you go to the Joliet Junior College, when they have workshops and things, they have other people come in, they will sometimes let you give them an idea or something that we're going to do. Maybe they shouldn't be doing it, but they do it. And it kind of means, it's kind of up to the board or the president, it depends on who's doing it. Sometimes just a little idea that is brought is
That's why we
something
did
that
allow
might
him to
help.
speak.
And Carl has a lot of good ideas. I don't know him that well, but I've always heard him talk, so.
Well, I appreciate your input. I do, I really do
Thank you.
appreciate your input. Any other comments tonight? Hearing none, I would call for an adjournment.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second it.
By Michael, second by Barb, all in favor?
Aye.